Good morning. Can everybody hear me all right at the back? Yeah, perfect. That's great. Thank you very much. Well, you're all very, very welcome this morning to what hopefully will be a wonderful and memorable occasion for everybody, both teachers, students, family members and all of our invited guests. My own name is Pádraig Cawley and I will be the MC for the proceedings this morning. Just a gentle reminder, just to check your phone, that you might put it on silent, please. And I just want to also note the fire exits on my left and on my right, and up at the very back of the auditorium, left and right. A bit of the touch of the Ryanair to that one there. So just to take note of those, and we'll speak a little bit later about photographs and that type of thing, what you might need to do. So good morning, Minister Halligan. Dr. Michael Hannon, Vice President for Academic Affairs here at the GMIT and also Registrar, Mr. Tom Parlin, representing the Construction Industry Federation, Mr. Ray Madden from Extra Therm, Mr. David Tracy, representing CISC, the construction company, members of the Hayes family, members of the State Examinations Commission, GMIT academic staff, school managers, subject teachers, and most importantly today, our awardees and their families. A warm welcome to you all as we gather here in Theatre 1000 on the GMIT campus this morning for our annual Student Award ceremony. Today is a very special day for 43 awardees and their families, and indeed their teachers, as they are recognised here this morning for their outstanding achievement across 8 different subject areas. The Technoteachers Association has been in existence for more than 30 years, representing and supporting teachers of the technological suite of subjects. The 9 executive members of our association who are here this morning on a voluntary basis put this event together annually. We are supported by branch network throughout the country, and we provide support to over 1,000 teachers of our subjects nationwide. We also use events like this one to promote our association and our subjects on a national level. And I'd like to draw your attention to the booklet on page 6, where you'll see some fine portraits of the executive members, and some of them located left and right, and some on the podium here. And I'd like to take just give them a round of applause, please, to those gentlemen who have put together today's event. Thank you. Today we recognise these young students in the top 3 positions across 8 individual subject areas. We are delighted that this ceremony is again being streamed live through the GMIT website and will be available to you at a later stage on YouTube for your own enjoyment or for use at school promotion events. So it will be there into the future, long into the future. The link for that will be supplied to you there, and we'd like to thank in particular Pat Heffernan up at the back and the staff here of the GMIT for facilitating and coordinating the IT side of things here this morning and for our event. Our first speaker this morning is our chairperson, Mr. Stephen O'Brien, and I'm now going to call on Stephen to come to the podium and address the audience. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Pádraig. On behalf of the Technoteachers Association, I extend a warm welcome to this year's award-winning students, their families, teachers, school representatives. Welcome to Galway and the GMIT campus on this proud day in your academic journey. We are extremely grateful to GMIT for their ongoing commitment to our awards ceremony. This is the 8th year that GMIT has hosted our awards, and we thank especially Dr. Michael Hannon, Vice President for Academic Affairs and Registrar, for his continued assistance, for placing the college facilities at our disposal, and for agreeing to present awards. I welcome Minister John Halligan TD, who is Minister for State for Training, Skills, Innovation, Research and Development. We are delighted you could be with us today and greatly appreciate your support as we prepare to honour our most meritorious students. Exotherm have been a great friend to our association for a number of years now, and I would like to thank them for their involvement with our national conference last October and welcome their representative, Mr. Ray Madden, here this morning. The Technoteachers Association is delighted to have an ongoing partnership with the Construction Industry Federation. Mr. Tom Parlin, Director General of CIF, and Mr. Dermot Carey are very welcome to the awards this morning. We also welcome industry leaders John Siskin's son, who are sponsoring our Junior Certificate Materials Technology Wood Awards. Dave Tracy is here this morning representing them, and he's very welcome also. The State Examinations Commission play a vital role in these awards. It is the SEC who provides the information which allows us to honour you, our outstanding students, and we are very grateful and appreciate their contribution to today's recognition of student success. Today, I would like to single out Mr. Sean O'Brien, who has recently retired from his role as Assistant Head of the SEC and Chief Examiner. Sean has been an inspiration in the development of our subjects through his work within the SEC, and I would like to thank him for the leadership and support he has afforded to our association over the years. I would also like to welcome his successor, Mr. Liam Fallon, who joins an extremely strong team of Mr. John Corcoran and Mr. Liam Murphy within the SEC. Liam has been a past member of our executive, and we are acutely aware of the attributes that he will bring to his new role. I wish you well, and I look forward to working closely with you in the years ahead. Sadly, during 2016, the TTA lost one of our longest-serving and valued members. As recognition of his contribution to the TTA, we decided to name an award in his honour. I am delighted to welcome members of the Hayes family who will present the Martin Hayes Award to the student who received the first place in construction studies at higher level. And I think Margaret is going to present the award this morning, and you're very welcome here. In honouring your achievements, we recognise the excellent work of your teachers who have guided you to such success. It is a proud occasion in a teacher's career when one of their students is acknowledged as the best in the country in their subject area. As a subject association, we represent teachers of the technological suite of subjects, and I would like to thank the National Executive of the TTA, whose dedicated work has made such a day of recognition possible. It is my privilege to be associated with such a dedicated and willing group of educators. And I'm just going to pause for a moment. I'm just going to mention them by name. I know Padraig showed the beautiful snapshots, which are about 10 years old, but we'll say that. I know we took them last year. Padraig Cawley, who's your MC. Tony Harrison is over here on my left. Brendan Waldron is outside, I think, minding the... Oh, he's there, sitting down. Martin Horan is outside minding your projects. David Page, who's our secretary. Pat McNamara, sitting down here doing a bit of videoing, I think. Kenneth Henry is over here, who will be guiding you back into your seats. And John McGuinness is sitting here beside me. So thank you very much, gentlemen, on behalf of the awardees. Today's awards celebrate and reward exceptional achievement across a broad range of skills represented by the work produced by you, our outstanding students. You have demonstrated the highest levels of analytical thinking, creative design, manufacturing skills, and intellectual reasoning. In a fast-paced world which values adaptability and innovation, you are ideally placed to succeed. In being recognised as the best, you honour yourselves, your families, and your schools. I wish you continued success in your future careers and studies. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Stephen. Our second speaker this morning is the Vice President for Academic Affairs, who we've referred to earlier on, and also Registrar of the GMIT, Dr. Michael Hannon. We're again delighted to be back here in the GMIT, and we're always made feel extremely welcome. GMIT have supported the hosting of these awards since their inception, and we're extremely grateful for that. And incidentally, Michael is a former teacher, his previous life, of our suite of subjects, and was also a former chairperson of our association. So we're delighted to see Michael in this very, very important and prestigious position here at the GMIT, and he's doing a wonderful job. So I'd like to call on you now, Michael, to say a few words. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Pádraig. I'm not going to comment on the wonderful job piece. That's for others to actually comment on. But on behalf of GMIT, I would sincerely like to welcome everybody here today, this morning. I'd like particularly to welcome Minister Halligan. Delighted to have you here. And I'll come back to that actually later on. I want to congratulate, as has been said by the other speakers, all of the award winners. We're happy to have you here celebrating excellence. Congratulate your teachers, and of course congratulate your parents and family who are supporting you in the background. GMIT, it's appropriate that we would have it in a higher education institution where the emphasis is on excellence and celebrating excellence when it is achieved. We have approximately 7,000 students across 5 campuses with over 100 programs of higher education. And we have a number of staff here today if you want to actually talk about more of the programs we offer. Just to talk to you a little bit about how the higher education landscape is changing. You would have seen already that the first technological university at TU Dublin was designated in January. And there are 3 other consortia with ambitions to merge to become technological universities. So this is going to change the options and offerings that are going to be available to you when you actually come out or after you do the leaving cert. And just to be aware that we are in one of those consortia. GMIT is in association with Sligo and Letterkenny, currently known as the Connacht Ulster Alliance, or the CUA, with an ambition to merge to become a technological university for the region. Now, I'm emphasising technological university because we already have 7 established traditional universities, and the Department of Education and the HEA are very adamant that there would be differentiation and distinction between the new institutional type. And to me, that differentiation is there in the title. It's the technological university with a focus on technologies, on STEM, even incorporating STEAM to an extent. If you look at our history, where we've come from, we were set up approximately 13 to 14 regional technical colleges. Then we transitioned in about 2006 to institutes of technology. And now there is another step in the life cycle to technological universities. The one common thread across those 3 transformations is technological. And I'm very strong that that will be maintained and protected in relation to the applied learning that we offer our students, that we are different, that we focus on the student, that you come out with what employers want, ready to hit the ground running. And that brings me back to the value of a technological education for you. And we're speaking here to the converted, but for any principals or vice principals and a wider audience, I want to get the message out there that of the value of an applied education that you get through the institutes of technology, and I would hope through the technological universities that will be that bit different in the future. The value of a technological education is not about preparing people to be specific discipline specialists when they grow up. It's giving you the problem-solving skills, the critical skills, what employers are looking for. My own son is finishing a master's at the moment, and he's thinking about doing a PhD. And he has the grades. There's no issue about that. But before he gets accepted onto the PhD program, the proponents of the PhD, where it's being offered, want to meet him. They want to meet him to see, will he fit in with the research team that he's going to be joining? They're not worried about the grades. So it's this type of transfer skills, the personal development of the person. That's what you get through a technological education, as much, if not more so, than other subjects. And I totally dismiss the argument that has started during the week in relation to the junior cycle, that one subject is more valuable than the other. That's nonsense. Geography is no more valuable to study than any other technological subject. So we need to get out there and sell the benefit of the technological education, not for its utilitarian value, but for its personal development and intrinsic value that it will give you towards whatever career you actually pursue. And I guarantee you that will work. I'm probably a living example of that. As Stephen said, I was a technology teacher, construction, woodwork, technical graphics, loved it. But before that, I actually qualified as an apprentice, something that I'm actually very proud of. I started my career after my Leaving Cert, and I did an apprenticeship. And then I became a teacher. So I know the value. I wouldn't be here speaking to you today in my current capacity if I didn't study technical drawing, what's now called DCG at Leaving Cert. The skills I got from that subject were phenomenal. Problem solving, critical skills, exactly what higher education is trying to instill in graduates. And this criticism that the Leaving Cert is rote learning, anybody who studies one of the technology subjects knows that is not true. So we have a big message to get out there about the value of technology education and the value of technological subjects. Now, before I finish, as you can see, I could go on. I want to, with a panel like this, I cannot miss the opportunity but say something about apprenticeships, as I already mentioned in my own background. Having the Minister for Apprenticeships, having CIF, and CISC an extra term, it's an opportunity not to be missed. So I'm delighted to have such a captive audience in front of me from the point of view of apprenticeships. I'm chairing 2 national committees in relation to apprenticeships because I'm passionate about apprenticeships. I've come from that background. I believe in them. But I do want to start a national discussion in relation to how we actually sell and communicate the message of what's in apprenticeships, particularly the new types of apprenticeships. And I know the Minister will have his own views on this, and hopefully we're aligned on the same page. As far as I'm concerned, we have the craft-based apprenticeships, what are further education apprenticeships, that the advanced craft certificate, plastering, plumbing, electrical, all of those. Absolutely fantastic. And then we have the newer type of apprenticeships that are fundamentally, not totally, but fundamentally, they're higher education apprenticeships. You can get a degree, work-based learning. GMIT was one of the first institutes to develop one of those apprenticeships. We're offering a Bachelor of Engineering in Manufacturing Engineering. It's an apprenticeship. It's 50% is on the job. It's work-based learning. We have 7 other IoTs. There's 8 in the consortium altogether. 8 IoTs, along with the Irish Medical Device Association, steering that, working with us in offering that apprenticeship. But let me repeat, it's a degree. And this marketing that you see on the television, why don't you consider an apprenticeship as an alternative to college? What sort of nonsense is that? It's embedded in college. Even the craft-based apprenticeships have blocks that are delivered in college. Every single apprenticeship has a college component. So you're not doing something that's alternative to it. It includes and it is embedded. So we need to get that message out there about the distinction and the value and the levels of apprenticeships that you can do. And I'm just targeting it because I know there's a captive audience here with people after having done the junior cert in transition or whatever way you might be transitioning, to research it a little bit deeper and find out exactly what's actually behind the whole apprenticeship area. I'm going to leave that there. And I'm going to finish by just acknowledging the role of the Technological Teachers Association Executive, which I'm delighted to support. The GMIT staff who have helped us out here today, Pat has already been mentioned, the caretakers, the technicians and the canteen, and I wish you all a very enjoyable day. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Michael Hannon. Thank you very much indeed. Our next speaker is Mr. Tom Parlin, and Tom is the Director General of the Construction Industry Federation, or commonly known as CIF. We are delighted to have Construction Industry Federation supporting the links forged between second-level schools and industry, and it's an important link as outlined earlier. We particularly appreciate that you've taken time out of your busy schedule to attend our national awards today. So I invite Mr. Parlin to the podium. Thank you.
Thank you very much, and Minister and President of the College and students and ladies and gentlemen. First of all, thank you for inviting me down here. I'm here today with my colleague Dermot Carey, and I can almost call him colleague Dave Tracy, who represents our biggest single member in the CIF, CISC, but a great advocate of training and education within the industry. First of all, I just want to say that we're delighted to have a small, and I'd hope it will be bigger, association with the Technoteachers, and I certainly admire and applaud the work that they do. And I think in terms of today's event, it's very important to recognise achievement. We have it right across the board, but it's very important to recognise it. And the skills and the creativity and the smarts that you've displayed to be here to win your award certainly are impressive, and I think you're a credit to yourselves, credit to your family, credit to your teachers, and a credit to your school. And I say well done, and I'm looking forward to shaking some of the hands and handing over some of the presentations. I was just thinking when Michael was here, like, I'm not too sure individually how determined you are about what you're going to do in your life at this stage. You've all got off to a pretty good start, and you've impressed. And Michael was saying he started off doing an apprentice, and I was thinking to myself, this day week I was at my brother's place, and in my part-time job I'm a farmer. I still live down in a place called Kildare down in County Offaly. Go back there every Friday, and I was collecting a machine for my brother, and he brought out a couple of pieces of paper and he said, here, you might like to see these. And they were my intermediate certificate and my leaving certificate. I don't think I've seen them since they came. I was a bit embarrassed when they came, and I think my parents weren't showing them around either, but they were mediocre, I have to say, anyhow. And you know, at that stage all I was interested in doing was farming. I spent a year in an agricultural college and went home and started farming, started up a contracting business, got on with things, got involved in the Irish Farmers Association, and eventually I became president of the Irish Farmers Association, which is a pretty high-level job, involved in all sorts of meetings with senior politicians, senior industry people, internationally, at European level and so on. Probably regretted all along the way that I didn't pay more attention to my French class and to a lot of that stuff, but I got by, and as Michael referred to, the sort of workplace learning and lifelong learning all came in. And then when I finished an IFA, I was invited to stand in the general election at the time. I said I'd give it a shot. I got elected. I became junior minister in the Department of Finance, spent 5 years there, and when I finished there, I got a phone call from a recruiter and said there's a job in the CIF as a general secretary. So this was all for a guy that got a very middling leaving cert. And you know, you do get on, you can do what you like. Just because you're very good now doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to carry on in the career that you are. But I would hope, and the reason I'm here, I suppose, is representing the construction industry, that I didn't have any great links with before I was asked to join the organisation. But I have massive admiration for the organisation now, massive admiration for the people that work in it. And we're a massively important part of the whole economy and of the whole country. And like previously, I was very involved in agriculture, in food, and that whole side. And that's a big, big part of our indigenous industry. And CIF recently and would constantly, and it's a big, big issue in terms of the current Brexit negotiations, is what might happen our food and drink exports, because Britain is such an important market to us, and the impact it would have on jobs and on the country. We export about 12 billion's worth of food and drink. Our construction industry is worth about 24 billion. Twice that. Nobody would sort of give credit for that. We employ almost 160,000 people at the moment. And if it wasn't for the construction industry, this particular fabulous facility that we're in wouldn't be here. I was in Croke Park yesterday morning at a conference, you know, that wouldn't be there. The houses that we all live in, and obviously that's a bit of a deficit. We need to be building more. But all of that infrastructure is there because of the construction industry and because of the work that professionals do in terms of doing all the design and the planning and all that element, and the engineering. And then it's the people with the skills that get in and lay the blocks and do the formwork and do the steel work and do the plastering and do the electrics and do all of that stuff. So it is a massive, massive industry. And I was with some people the evening before, yesterday evening, that work in the mechanical electrical sector, and some people from Amazon, and they were out having a drink and having a bit of food, and I joined them towards the end, and they were just talking about the scale of their business. And one company has just signed up 3 Amazon projects in Dublin at the moment, 3 data centres. And he was telling me the difficulty he's having getting enough people to fill those roles. And he was telling me about one guy asked him, he said, I met him the other evening, he said, I was asking him, would he be interested in working in Sweden? And he sort of gave a bit of a shrug and said, well, you know, would I get more money? And he said, of course you'll get more money. So our big M&E companies are working all over Europe and all over the Middle East at the moment. doing stuff. And to give some idea, like I was here years before when there was very little happening, and when we were trying to encourage people in, and when we had high unemployment, and we're saying if the government should invest more in our infrastructure, we'd be able to create more jobs and solve that problem. We are in a happy place now, and students are in a happy place that you will have choice, you'll have picking and choosing jobs out there. But I would extol you to think about construction as a career. I think it's a fabulous, dynamic career. It's a career that can give you a good livelihood. It's a career that can give you a lot of satisfaction. It's a career that can give you lots of opportunities, both to grow in your career, to go on to be all sorts of things. I would say a lot of the people that come up through CISC, and Dave will be saying that, start off as apprentices and they end up with their degrees out of university and become senior managers within the companies. Just briefly, a couple of the big projects that are doing. Centre Parks, you might have heard it, some of you might have even booked a holiday there over in County Longford. It's part of a big global holiday resort. CISC are the main contractors there, and there's a couple of thousand construction workers down there at the moment. They're building a fabulous state-of-the-art holiday village in a bog in Longford. Some of the houses, they've got to go down 9 metres to get a foundation. You wouldn't dream of building a house, if it was Minister Halligan and a local council or whoever, you wouldn't dream of building a house there, but it's the ideal location that those experts say, and that will be built on time. Over 400 5-star lodges, the most fabulous spas, pools, restaurants, cinemas, walkways, driveways, cycleways that you will find, and it's been built in the middle of the countryside here by Irish companies and providing very good labour. Bristol Myers Squibb, BMS, are one of the biggest pharma companies in the world. They're spending €1 billion in Dublin at the moment. That's 1,000 million on a greenfield site to build a new cancer drug. It'll be the top-end cancer drug in the country. It'll be one of the ones that you get through your vial into your vein. It's a biological drug, and don't ask me, but I've been out there, and first of all I've been so impressed with the medics that came up with the original formula for it. But if it wasn't for all of the blokes and women that are working out there, that would never materialise, and I expect it'll be a major international breakthrough when it's done. MSD are doing another similar. WUXI, or WUXI, they're spelled WUXI, have made their first 300 million investment in Dundalk recently, doing a Chinese company doing another biological drug. And all of the Facebooks, the Amazons, so on, are doing their data centres. And of course we have the housing shortage, and we'll probably build an extra 6,000 or 7,000 houses this year than we did last year, and we probably need to build 10 or 12 more. So massive opportunities, I would say, in the industry for work for a start, but also to expand your work and to expand your skills. And the whole industry now is moving towards, being much more adopting technology, being digital, building information modelling, lean, off-site production. It is going to be a dynamic industry, and I think you people coming along with your skills and the benefit of the advice you get from your techno teachers, and hopefully maybe going on to GMIT and some of our other technical colleges, certainly the industry needs you, and I'd certainly hope that you do choose to do that. And in the meantime, enjoy the awards that you get today. And again, to all of the people here, thanks very much for having me and Dermot and the CIF here. And we're delighted, and we'll certainly want to continue to support you into the future. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Tom. We also have forged some links over the past number of years with CISC, who Tom has mentioned there earlier on, and we visited their training centres in Dublin, and they've offered assistance to many of our members in relation to skills development and so on. We're delighted to have David Tracy with us here this morning from CISC, and I'm going to invite David to say a few words, who will later be giving a special CISC award to the first place awardees in ordinary level and higher level materials technology would at a later stage. But for now, David, please. Thank you.
Minister Halligan, Vice President of GMIT, distinguished guests, techno-teachers, teachers, parents, family members, and you, the students, good morning. We wish to thank Stephen O'Brien, and Technoteachers Association on behalf of John Sisk and Son for the opportunity to speak here today on behalf of the construction industry and in particular on apprenticeships. Sisk are very proud sponsors of these awards here today. John Sisk and Son is a 150-year-old company founded in Cork back in 1859. And today we're one of Ireland's largest construction companies with work right across Ireland, the UK and mainland Europe. It's still a family-owned, fifth-generation company, and our training centre in Dublin played a huge part in the role of the company, and we really value investing in young people. Behind our head office in Dublin, we have our training centre, where we have a yearly intake of apprentice carpenters and joiners. Our apprentices become our next site managers. And without these managers, we certainly wouldn't be able to achieve or finish any of our large-scale projects. Doing an apprenticeship has many advantages. You earn as you learn. You have a skill set that definitely lasts you for life. It involves on and off the job training. It's not class or room-based. It's more hands-on, and the job satisfaction of having a skill set is very rewarding. And in the case of Sisk, once you complete a good apprenticeship, and beyond this, you are progressed and you're mapped, and you'll end up doing a level either level 7 or level 8 degree in site management. And at this stage, you are very employable and you will always fit the job market. So what I'm saying really is, but before you consider filling in your CEO, do consider an apprenticeship. We must also mention in 3 weeks' time, from the 21st to 23rd of March, in the RDS, we have the Ireland Skills Live competition. This is a national apprentice competition, and up to now it's been taking place since the 1950s in all the Institute of Technologies throughout the country, but we want to bring all our competitions at the one time under the one roof, and it's a showcase for skill. These competitions are not only in construction, but they're also in creative arts, manufacturing, engineering, hospitality, transportation and aviation, and information technology. This definitely will be a game changer for apprenticeship awareness, and we have no doubt it'll help to meet Ireland's skills shortage. And as Tom said earlier, we definitely have a housing crisis. We don't have enough of bricklayers, we don't have enough of plasters, we don't have enough of painters. We want more young people coming into our industry. Finally, I would like to thank Technoteachers and congratulate them on once again hosting a great event and showcasing the standards of teaching excellence and craftsmanship coming from our schools today. Congratulations also to the proud families, parents, on your sons and daughters' achievement. It's certainly a day on the calendar to remember, and it's a very proud day. And finally, you the students, congrats and well done. Continue this great work. Follow your dream and don't give up when it gets tough. And consider doing an apprenticeship, as we all don't start at level 3 or going to third level route. I myself started out as an apprentice carpenter with Sisk many years ago, and again, something I always want to do. I want to get that skill. My father was a highly skilled craftsperson, and I just had a love of building. And from that, I would say, follow your dream. If you have a skill set, follow it, do an apprenticeship. So we wish you every success in your chosen career path and every good health and happiness in life. Thank you.
Thank you very much, David. Thanks indeed. So final speaker of the day before we move on to the main event will be Minister Halligan. We're delighted to have Minister Halligan attend today, and when we approached Minister last year, he willingly gave an undertaking to attend our awards this year in the GMIT. Such is his interest in the technology and science area, and also his willingness to acknowledge the great work being done in schools, in second level schools, by teachers and by students with the support of their parents. Therefore, I would like to invite the Minister to address the gathering. Thank you, Minister.
Good morning all, it's a great pleasure to be here today. I want to first of all thank David Page, National Secretary of the Technoteachers Association, and of course Padraig, whom I know very well. He does excellent work in Ordscall, Namara and Tramore in promoting technology subjects. When Padraig invited me here today, I come from Waterford, which is known as the sunny southeast, and when I left yesterday it was raining, wind, howling, storms. But Padraig said, come to Galway. Galway will be lovely. He said, the weather will be nice here when you arrive. So anyway, good or bad weather, Galway is a beautiful city and I'm delighted to be here. I first of all want to thank the GMIT for hosting the awards, and I know they have a long involvement in supporting teachers in technology subjects. But I particularly, first of all, want to congratulate the award-winning students, but also I think it's important to thank their families, their teachers and their principals, and this is a fantastic achievement. And you know how important the family, the teacher and the principal are, because they can have a defining, if you like, they can help define your life and define your career. And quite often we forget the influence that families play in promoting their own children and driving them to further education and re-education at times. So I think that's very important. The high standards of the Irish state examination systems is actually recognised all over the world, and we've achieved the highest marks in junior cycle and senior cycle in technology subjects in the entire country. Here is an incredible achievement. And I've travelled to many countries. I work in two departments. I work in the Department of Education, where I do apprenticeship skills and school transport, and then I also work in jobs and enterprise. I cross over in both departments, where I do research, development and innovation, and research and innovation and development cross over on both departments. But it's interesting, in the many countries I've visited around the world on behalf of the Department of Education, first of all, how highly taught our education system is. And if you look at the hundreds of thousands of students that come from abroad into our institutes of technology and into our universities. Recently, my secretary and myself, we were over in China, signing up students to come from China, agreeing memorandums of understandings between universities and institutes in China and universities and institutes in Ireland. We done one with Galway, one with Trinity College and one with the Institute of Technology in Waterford. And last year we were in Japan, and 2,700 students signed up from Japan to come to Ireland. And there's a European test, if you like, and it's called the barometer test on right across Europe, what countries are best suited for students, and they do it on accessibility. What the accessibility is, the geographical positioning of your institutes of technology and your universities, and they do it on interaction of students. And that is, how well do Irish students interact with students come from other countries. Ireland was number one last year and number one the year before that, right across Europe. So I think that's a wonderful achievement, and I think that shows and sums up how valuable our education system is and how well our education system is thought of right across the world, from South America, South Korea, Japan, China, and of course many of the countries in Europe, where students come from all of these countries. They bypass many countries in Europe. They bypass France, they bypass Italy, they bypass England, and they come to Ireland, into our institutes of technology. And I'm sure there are many students here in GMIT from right across the world, as there is in many institutes. So it's important to say that. I wanted to talk about, to give you an indication of the achievements and the scale of your achievements in 2018. The junior certificate examinations were over 17,467 candidates sat material technology wood, 13,046 sat technical graphics, and 4,070 sat technology. And in the 2018 Leaving Cert, 8,248 candidates sat construction studies, 5,393 sat design and communications graphics, 1,534 technology, and 2,709 students sat the Leaving Cert applied course. So you can see the amount of students. And we can see from the range of subjects for which awards are being presented today, the Technoteachers Association is unique in representing teachers of such number of subjects. And you will be aware that these involve over at least 30 years, if you go back to the original, like what we would call the woodwork and drawing, and that has been mentioned. The development now and the introduction of these subjects has required teachers and students to be open to change, and also to the development of new skills. And I'll talk about that, how important that is. And of its nature, technology is an area of constant change, innovation, improvement and progress that's invaluable to the development and the well-being of our society. And I deal with innovation, research and development. And again, how important is it? Well, let's have a look back of where we are today in 2019. If you were to go back 20 years, 30 years, and you may have heard of what disruptive technology is, and this is what's driving economies all across the world. And an example, a simple example as to what innovation and disruptive technology is: typewriter to computer, house telephone to mobile phone. They're two simple examples. And if we in Ireland, which we are good at innovation, we are good at driving innovation, but innovation will be far-reaching in 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, 30 years' time. And if we're not at the top of our game, not alone are we in competition with countries in Europe, but we're in competition with big countries, big economies like Japan, South Korea, America, Canada. And we have to interact, we have to upskill, and we have to drive innovation. And how we do that is by investing more in innovation, investing in higher education, and investing in skills. And as Minister for Training, Skills and Innovation, Research and Development, the development of the skills, if you like, technology subjects are of a particular interest to me, and their practical nature has led the way to the introduction of practical components, if you like, in examinations. As we can see now from the introduction of the revised junior cycle, the benefits, if you like, of assessment of students through methods other solely than written terminal examination, and I think that will continue to be recognised, and it certainly should continue to be recognised. And again, I would say that I think you would all agree that the practical aspect of these courses that you do, they might be designing, making furniture, computer-aided design, making scale models, demonstrating craft practices. Not alone are they enjoyable part of the course, but they are a real sense of achievement when completed. And I think that's very important. And if you like, the knowledge that the courses also provide is invaluable. And such knowledge allows students to explore and appreciate the impact of the past, the present, and as I said, future technologies. And that again has an impact on our environment, our economy, our society, and of course to the individual themselves. And that's what we're about. When we drive innovation, when we drive technology, we're talking about making our town, our city, our village, our country, our world a better place to live in. And that's what innovation is about, or that's what it should be about. And essentially that is what it is about. If you look at Ireland today, we've all of the top pharmaceutical companies are based in Ireland. All of the top IT companies are based in Ireland. And why is that? Because they see the benefit of our researchers, they see the benefit of our students in our institutes of technology and in our universities. And if you look at, I've visited many of these companies, these medtech companies and so on, who are at the high end of the scale. Johnson & Johnson's, Teva Pharmaceuticals from Israel, Bosch & Lomb from America, Canada. All of these companies come here to Ireland because they see the value of our education system. And it's interesting that if you were to go back 10, 15, 20 years and look at all of those companies where, for instance, they would have done their research, all of the research would have been done at what they call at base. That would be where the company came from. That is not the case now. The collaboration now between companies and our students, our institutes of technology and our universities has never been greater. And that, again, is a testament to how good we are and how good a job we do. And I think that's very important. I would urge you, and I would urge teachers, and I would urge everyone involved, the driving force now behind any economy is STEM. And we know what STEM is: science, technology, innovation, and maths. Science, technology, innovation and maths will build, sustain our economy and grow our economy. It is important and imperative that we engage more students, and we're beginning to do this now, however late we are doing it compared to other countries, where we drive STEM subjects in primary schools, whereas up to now we would have been doing it in third level. But right now we go into primary schools and we encourage students to become involved in science, technology, innovation and maths. That is where the jobs of the future are. I said earlier on about the driving force of innovation and technology. STEM runs right through that. You get your science, you get your engineering, you get your technology, you get your maths. All the top jobs across the world are created through the STEM subjects. And I don't think there should be any stigma attached to it. I often meet someone who says, but look, I'm not good at maths, I'm not great at doing this. Some of our best scientists in Ireland, some of the best scientists in the world, are not essentially mathematicians. But they're good at what they do. They're good at being innovative. They're able to push themselves and twerk, if you like. And Einstein was bad at maths, always remember that, and he said that himself. So I think that's very important. I wanted to mention very briefly the apprenticeships, and I do apprenticeships. And we did have difficulty with apprenticeships. It's very simple. What happened was, when we went into a recession, a very bad recession, as you can remember, that with high unemployment, little job creation, that apprenticeships dropped. As we came out of the recession, or before we went into the recession, as we had a huge big build program going, that it was difficult for some companies to take on apprenticeships because they needed to get houses built, they needed to get factories built, they needed to get hotels built, and often we would bring workers in from outside of Ireland, which I have no problem with, and I think we should do. So our apprenticeships dropped substantially. We have a kind of a contradictory, it's a little bit contradictory now, because at full employment now, it's difficult also to get young kids to go into apprenticeships, because they kind of say, well, look, I'm going to do 3, 4, 5 years, whereas I can get a full-time job in a factory, maybe €500. What is it worth doing this? And this is, we have to impart the knowledge and the information that it is important. It is important. And if you look at where apprenticeships are now, pharmaceutical, meditech, accountancy, agriculture, horticulture, many engineering and many science projects. So if you stick with it and you get your 3, 4 years and you do the job in all of these areas here, well then there is no limits for your how you can be employed. There is no limits whatsoever. And can I just say this, in some of the subjects that I've spoken about here, that Ireland as we speak today, in the top 10 science subjects in the world, are in the top 10. We are now number 1 in agri-science. We are now number 2 in nanotechnology, driven by the Tyndall Institute in Cork and other institutions around the world. We are number 5 in chemistry, number 6 in maths, number 7 in computer science. And all of this is sometimes driven by people entering the skills market and coming from apprenticeships. And quite often we have met young people who have come up from the sector, the pharmaceutical sector, and done their apprenticeship in pharmaceutical or agri-science and so on, and now have sustainable, well-paid employment. So I think that's very important. There is a lot more to do. We have 41 apprenticeship programs. If you go onto the website, you can see all the programs that 41. We do a call out every so often. And how do we do the call out? We collaborate with industry, and we collaborate with what we call, we have 9 skills forums set up around the country. And what they do is they collaborate with the industries in particular areas. I think there's a skills forum here for Mayo Galway. So what they do is they make contact with the multinational companies here and see where there's a skills lost there, or where there's a skills need, and then they report back. So then we can collaborate with the companies and try and get people into that company, either as young skilled workers or apprenticeships. So the apprenticeship council then are all of the time meeting different groups that like IBEC, Congress of Trade Unions and so on, to see where we can drive apprenticeships. So last year we done 17 call-outs on apprenticeships, which was fantastic. 17 new apprenticeships. We're up to 41. Are we where we want to be? No, it is difficult to compete with some of the big countries around the world, like Germany and so on, because of the big steel industries and the car industries where they have a lot of apprenticeships. We don't have that. But I can tell you that our aim, we're way ahead in some of the apprenticeships that we've set out over the last number of years. I think out of the 17 that we wanted to be at the top, in about 15 of them we're way ahead. So we are doing well with apprenticeships. So finally, I needed to say that because I think apprenticeships and skills are very important. Once again, I want to finish by acknowledging again the special role that the parents and teachers have played so far in this. And of course, without their support, it would have been difficult for you to have been here today. Again, I would say to you that keep at it, keep speaking to your teachers, keep speaking to the experts. Don't stop now with the award that you have won. Whatever achievement you have reached, it is fantastic. Push on from that. Have a look and see, where can I go further? How can I skill up again? And if you're good at what you do, whatever you've done here today, whatever you've won your award for, don't stop there. Look again and see, how can I skill up? How can I do something better for myself? And remember, when you do that, you're doing it for the place you live, you're doing it for your country, but you're doing it for yourself and you're doing it for your parents. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Minister. Inspirational words indeed to our young recipients here today. Thank you again. So now we move on to the reason we're all here today, and to meet with our awardees and make the presentations. So a few little bits of housekeeping just to explain how it all will take place. So we will be making the presentation of awards in the order of third, second and then first, and in some cases we have joined first in each of the 8 subject areas. We will start with junior certificate level and then move on to leaving certificate level. Awardees will receive a beautiful handcrafted trophy to mark their outstanding achievement. They will also receive a certificate which may be displayed with pride at home or in their school. You can read a little bit more about the trophy design on page 1 of your programme, and they're just on display here beside me. So they're all individually designed for today's ceremony. We've also employed the services of Reg Gordon. It's on your right hand side, on my left. And Reg is our official photographer for today, and indeed has been here with us since our very first time to use the GMIT. So as the awardees come to be presented, Reg will take the photographs, and these will be available later on the website. They'll also be distributed to your local and regional papers, whichever ones you've indicated on our information form. Our invited guests have also informed me that they're willing to stay behind after the award ceremony is over if you wish to take individual family pictures with the invited guests or with your teachers, school principals and so on. So that will be available. So from that you can make your own arrangements then with Reg at the end of that, but we will be taking an official set which will be distributed to your schools and to papers, as I say. So awardees, as your name is called, we'll ask you to make your way to the awards area over on my left here. And on your return, you will not be going back into the same seat again. You will go into the seat in the row ahead of you. Okay? And all of that will be looked after by Kenneth and David. They'll assist you left and right here while doing that. So it'll make things run a little bit smoother. So if you have any items, personal items with you just currently at the moment, if you leave them on your desk, you'll be able to collect those when you come back into the seat in front of you after receiving your award. Okie dokie, so let us begin. So if you want to follow me in the brochure there, we're starting first on page 11 with Junior Cert Technology. So I'm going to ask Minister Halligan to move to the presentation area, and also Stephen O'Brien, our chairperson. Okay, so we're starting with ordinary level technology, And the student's name is David Burke, and David is from St. Attractus Community School in Tubbercurry in County Sligo, and his teacher is Ronan McGovern, and unfortunately Ronan is unavailable today. So well done, David. So in second place, we have Shannon O'Gorman, and Shannon is from Sacred Heart Secondary School in Clonakilty in Cork. Her teacher is John Woods. Well done, Shannon. And in first place, we have Caoimhín O'Connell. Caoimhín from Good Counsel College, New Ross, and Caoimhín's teacher is Darren Keneally. And moving on to higher level technology. In third place, we have Aaron Smith from FCJ School, Bunclody, County Wexford, and his teacher is Dean Farrell. And just to mention that Dean is a past student of my own. Yeah. Well done. Now we have a joint first place in higher level technology. So in no particular order, I'm going to call first of all Claire Cullinan Sexton. And Claire is from Sacred Heart Secondary School in Clonakilty, County Cork, and her teacher, again, is John Woods. Well done to everyone. And the second person in the joint first place in technology higher level is Artem Protkovich. And Artem unfortunately cannot be with us here today, but his teacher, John Spillane, is here and will receive the award on his behalf. Thank you, John. So now I'd like to ask Mr. Ray Madden to join the presentation group, please. Ray from Extra Therm. And we're moving on to technical graphics at both ordinary level and higher level. So in third place, from Donegal, we have Kieran McSivne, and his teacher is Pádraig McGinley, and Kieran attends Public School Guidor in Letterkenny, County Donegal. Well done, thank you. And in second place, We have Leisha Will-Rui from Turmacady, County Mayo, and her teacher is Liam de Burke. And in first place for ordinary level technical graphics, we have Kieran Knox, and Kieran is from Cummeragh College, Carrick-on-Shore, County Tipperary, and his teacher is Brendan Gleeson. Okay, we're moving now to higher level technical graphics, and in third place we have Killian Cribben from St. Eunan's College, Letterkenny, County Donegal, and his teacher is Sean McGinley. Thank you. And in second place, we have Rory Collins from Presentation College, Athenry, Galway, and his teacher is Fintan Finnerty. And in first place, we have Anya Kennedy, and Anya is from Coláiste Ignis here in Galway, and his teacher is Tony Bloomer. Well done. Can I ask David Tracy from CISC now to move to the presentation area? Thank you. As we move along to Junior Certificate Materials Technology Wood, and we're starting with ordinary level, and in third place from Coola in County Sligo we have Rachel Brown and her teacher Sean O'Connell. Thank you, well done. And in second place, we have McGinty Gunn from Glenamaddy Community School, County Galway, here in County Galway, and her teacher is Larry Frayne. Lovely. Well done. And in first place for Materials Technology Wood ordinary level, we have Conor Drysdale from Presentation College Bray, County Wicklow, and his teacher is John Dillon. So we have the award from the Technoteachers taking place, and also a special award designed by CISC in their workshops, specifically for first place in materials technology wood at ordinary level and at higher level. So 2 awards today. Okay, so we're moving on to higher level materials technology, and in 3rd place we have David Pascanou from Lutterstown Community College, Blanchestown, Dublin 15, and Shane Lynham is the teacher. Unfortunately cannot be here today, but Fanulani Cashel, who's principal in the school, has kindly attended to receive the award on behalf of the teacher. And in 2nd place, Materials Technology Wood at higher level, we have John Flynn, and John is from Fermoy, Coláiste de Crevaun in Cork, and his teacher is Paddy Crowley. Thank you. And in 1st place, we have James Higgins, and James is from Gorey Community School, County Wexford, and his teacher is Damien Chandler. Well done. And again, a special award from CISC being presented to the 1st place recipient. This is a subject area, as the Minister outlined earlier on, with an excess of 17,000 students overall. So to have our 6 students here today achieving the top places is quite an achievement. Thank you. And I'd ask that, thank you very much, David. And we just move on to the next Leaving Cert Applied. So the Leaving Cert Applied is a separate programme in the Leaving Cert as part of the Leaving Cert suite. There's the Leaving Cert, the LCVP, and Leaving Cert Applied. It has a variety of different assessment techniques, and but essentially the students follow through and complete a Leaving Certificate. So we've recognised in particular the different aspects of that subject area in these particular awards. So we're beginning at Leaving Cert Applied Graphics and Construction Studies, specifically that area. And in 3rd place in that subject we have Gavin Deely, and Gavin is from Gort Community School here in County Galway. His teacher is Owen Marn, and unfortunately Owen is here actually, yes. Yeah. I'm sure he's not a bad guy. Yeah. Well done, thanks very much. And thanks, Owen. So in 2nd place in Graphics and Construction Studies, we have Stephen O'Donnell, and Stephen is from Ross's Community School, Dunlow, County Donegal, and his teacher is Martin Gibson. Thank you. Well done. And in first place in Graphics and Construction Studies for Leaving Cert Applied, we have David Healy, and David is from Belmullet in County Mayo, and his teacher is Sean Lavelle. Thank you. And we're moving on to Leaving Cert Applied Technology area. And in third place, Robert Scallon from CBS in St Mary's in Enniscorthy is unable to attend today. So we'll put that award aside for them. So we move on to second place. And in second place, we have Stephen O'Donnell. And Stephen is from the Ross's Community School, Dunlow, County Donegal, and is collecting his award along with his teacher, Colm Byrne. Well done, Stephen. That's a double for Stephen, a double for Donegal. Well done. Colm can stay with us because in first place we have Thomas McKelvey from Ross's Community School in Donegal, and the teacher again is Colm Byrne. So well done, Colm, and well done, Thomas. Okay, so we're moving on to the area of Leaving Cert Technology, the subject in its own right at Leaving Cert, and it's offered at both ordinary and higher level. So we begin with ordinary level in third place, and we call on Dean Smith from Scuil Nivurry in Dunleer, and his teacher is Mr. Martin Cassidy. Martin Cassidy, well done. And in second place, we have Caoimhín Bailey, St Mary's College, Dundalk, and the teacher is Daniel Murphy. Caoimhín. Well done. Okay, thank you very much. And in first place, in ordinary level technology at Leaving Cert, is Tig Cassidy. And Tig is from Scuil Nivurry in Dunleer, County Louth, and teacher Martin Cassidy. Okay, we're moving across to higher level in technology at Leaving Cert now. And in third place, we have Caoimhe Ann Rowan, and from Colosh the Wirra, Ennis, County Clare, and the teacher is Aidan Lawton, who unfortunately isn't here with us. Thank you. Well done, Caoimhe. Well done. And in second place, we have Thomas McCarthy, and Thomas is from St Gerald's College in Castlebar, and his teacher is Declan Askin. Well done. And in first place, we have Ronan Buckley, and Ronan is from Sculwera in Kanturk, County Cork, and the teacher is Gerald Crotty. Well done. And can I ask Mr. Michael Hannon from the GMIT to join the podium for the presentation of the Leaving Cert Design and Communication Awards, which we're moving on to now. Thank you very much. Thank you, Michael. So we begin with third place in ordinary level DCG, or Design and Communications Graphics, and we have Sharunas Gladiolis from Ballinamore Community School, Ballinamore, County Leitrim, and his teacher is Kevin Nolan. And in second place in Design and Communication Graphics, it's Craig Fagan, who unfortunately cannot be with us here today, but his teacher, Gavin White, from Ballinode Community College in Sligo, is collecting the award on his behalf. Well done. Thank you, Gavin. Well done, thank you. Oftentimes, when we come to Leaving Cert, many of the students who we wish to present awards to are either working abroad or in college abroad, so it can be difficult at this time to get them back for these awards. And many of them tune in and can see the live streaming, which is the benefit of that, so they'll be with us in spirit, so to speak. So in first place in Design Communication Graphics, we have Aaron Stanley, and Aaron is from New Park Comprehensive School, Rock in Dublin, and the teacher is Val Connell. Well done, everyone. We're moving on to higher level Design and Communication Graphics, and in third place we have Shane Conroy, and Shane is from Holy Rosary College in Mountbellew, County Galway, and his teacher is John Kilgannon. Well done. And in second place we have David Bird, and David is from St. Paul's College in Raheny in Dublin, and his teacher is Mary O'Hanlon. David was saying to me earlier on, he's studying engineering in UCD, so he's putting his subject to good practice in his next stage college career. I'm going to ask Mary if she can remain there, and I'm going to ask Michael Behan, Principal of St. Paul's, to join her. For the first place award is to student Jack O'Reilly, and who unfortunately is unavailable to attend today, but the principal has taken the time to come here and support, along with the teacher, to receive the award on his behalf. So thank you very much. Michael Behan and Mary O. Thank you very much. Now I'd ask Mr. Tom Parlin from the Construction Industry Federation to swap out with Michael there. Thank you. And a little bit of work involved with all these, so thank you. So we move on to construction studies at Leaving Cert level, and we'll begin with ordinary level. And in third place we have Claudia Magdalena Maklowska, and she's from the Salesian Secondary College, Pallaskenry, County Limerick, and her teacher is Brian McGreal. Well done. In second place we have Gary Byrne, and Gary is from Drumshambo Vocational School, County Leitrim, and his teacher is Adrian Martin, and Adrian cannot be here today. Well done, Gary. Well done. And in first place for construction studies at ordinary level in Leaving Cert, we have Luke Sharkey, and Luke is from Deal College, Raphoe, County Donegal, and his teacher is Andrew McFadden. Well done. Okay, we're moving on to higher level now in construction studies, and in third place we have Dara Kelly, and Dara is from Rockwell College in Cashel, County Tipperary, and his teacher is Carl Dorney. Well done. And in second place, we have Alan Byrne from Baltinglass, Sculconlish, Post-Primary School, County Wicklow. And his teacher is Joe Dolan, who's unavailable today, but we're joined by Patricia Gurry, who's school principal, to accept the award on his behalf. Well done, Alan. Thank you. And in first place, we have Brian McAuliffe from Gael Kalash the Kiri, Tralee, and his teacher is Donald Brannock. And if I could ask them to come forward, and they'll stay with us then after the second award. Thank you. Well done, Brian, and well done, Donald. So I'll just ask Brian to remain with us for a few moments. And Stephen, our chairperson, spoke earlier on about one of our founder members, Martin Hayes. And we're delighted that Margaret and members of the Hayes family are here with us today. And we've dedicated a special award to Martin, and we award it to the person that receives first place in construction studies annually. And Brian is indeed receiving a very coveted award today. We congratulate him and thank members of the Hayes family who have joined us here today for the special moment for them and for us. Well done, thank you very much. The award went to Galway last year, so now it travels all the way to Kerry. So well done. Well done. So we're almost at a close, and I just want to make one or two small presentations to our invited guests. So when we have them at the podium there, first of all, I want to make a presentation to Minister Halligan on behalf of the association, and just a small piece of craft work that they can have on their desk and remember the day in Galway. And it was a pleasure to have you. Thank you very much, Minister. And also, Mr. Parlin, Tom Parlin, when he's there, thank you to receive a small presentation on behalf of the association. Thank you indeed. We'll call now Michael Hannon. Thanks, Michael. Sorry now to disturb you from the seat again. Just a token of our appreciation. Thank you so much. And David Tracy. David, if you'd like, please. Thank you. And once again, thank you for the special awards from CISC. David Tracy. And Ray Madden, thank you very much, from Extra Therm, one of our great sponsors. So finally, it just comes to bring the proceedings to a close, and I want to give you a heartfelt thanks to everybody that has taken the time to attend today, obviously our invited guests and so on, but particularly the students, the teachers, principals, school managers, mums and dads, and relations and family friends that have come to share this special day with us today and with yourselves. And I hope that it will be very memorable, particularly for those that are at the stage of moving onwards into the next stage after their sixth year. They think second level will never end, and then it goes on to the next cycle in life. And for those of you that have completed the junior cycle and perhaps now in transition year or perhaps in fifth year, we really wish you well. And the Minister spoke about the huge achievement that it is to be sitting here today and received this award, because this award is not based on any bias or anyone's particular feeling that it should be given to you or otherwise. This is earned by yourself, independently examined, results given to us by the State Examinations Commission. So this is completely your achievement, and we're amazed every year. People come from different schools, different parts of the country, and You're shining lights for your community, shining lights for your school, and absolutely shining lights for your family and friends. They must be so proud of you. So well done to everyone that received an award today. Well done. So that brings our award ceremony to a close. I hope that everyone enjoyed it. I hope that you'll have found it to be a memorable occasion, and if you wish to get a copy of the booklet, if you wanted another one for perhaps somebody that couldn't be here today, and want to get some photographs afterwards, feel free. Nobody's rushing away. Relax and enjoy the day, and I'm sure the sunshine will come eventually in Galway. It always does if you wait long enough. That's the trick. So thank you most sincerely. Thank you very much indeed, and safe home.